It's time for AM Business, and of course it's always brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Now, it's the beginning of a new year, and many Ghanaians will be looking forward to more positive developments in the economy. So, what are the prospects moving forward? Well, Joy Business has been engaging some industry leaders in what to expect in the course of the new year. Here's what they learned.
A new year is before us again, and I believe everybody out there has a new year resolution, and just as you have yours, various business leaders have their resolutions and plans for the year 2019. So as we move into this new year, we've been engaging some of these business leaders on what to expect from the various industries. And I'm going to start with my favorite, that's the aviation industry. Now, this particular industry in the 2018 was heralded by the opening of the ultra-modern Terminal 3 airport. Subsequently, we saw the one-off landing of the Airbus A380, that is the largest passenger aircraft, by Emirates, signaling that our terminal could handle any kind of aircraft, bringing us to the top of the bar. Now, we also saw the entrance of 2 domestic airlines into our industry, bringing it to a total of 3 domestic carriers for us. Moving into 2019, what are we to expect? Well, the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority says there are lots of opportunity in this industry that we should look out for.
CityLink, Starbo has also applied. They have indicated their intention to come back. Then Fly 40 was sold to Royal Fly GH. They have their air carrier license. They're also going through certification. So if all of them come back successfully, well, some are not able to complete the certification process, but show all these prospective airlines commence operations, will have a very, very vibrant industry. Some may have to shift their focus from scheduled passenger service to charter services, executive jets, or air taxis, and so on. And there are untapped opportunities in those areas. There's so much, or I'll say there's over-focus on commercial air services, but there are others which are yet to be tapped. You go to East Africa, Kenya, for example, they have 19-seater caravans which they use as air taxis from tourism spots to tourism spots. We have nice places like Azim, Lake Bosontri, so many beautiful areas, not easily accessible by road. It takes 5-10 hours to go from Accra to go to the Mole Game Park. You want to go watch crocodiles at Paga, you are 10-12, you should be able to hop into an air taxi, go, you finish 2 hours, you come back. We don't have those services developed in Ghana. So there are opportunities for more players in the industry, if only some will shift their focus to the untapped services.
So with all the opportunities lined up in this particular industry, that's the aviation industry, as was highlighted by the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Simon Alote, well, the Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company also believes that with all these opportunities, passenger numbers are going to grow.
We used to do about 14,000 passengers between Kumasi and Accra per month. However, with the entry onto the market of Passion Air, last month, which is October, we were able to do 22,000. So we think this has been occasioned by one, the increase in capacity, and also the competitive pricing that we are seeing on the market. And we hope that this will continue to grow. Currently, flights to Kumasi can go on till as late as 8 p.m. and nobody complains, and people are flying that late, which was not the case when earlier on. I mean, flights to Kumasi normally ended by 6 p.m. and everything was over.
From the airport, we are here at the Shippers Authority. Yes, One of the industries that saw quite some activity in the 2018 was also the shipping industry. It basically has to do with importers, exporters, freight forwarders, etc. Now, there was the implementation of the cargo tracking note system. This cargo tracking note system requires that freight forwarders or importers provide real-time information on goods being imported to help the Ghana Revenue Authority plug the loopholes in revenue collection, as well as, sanitize activities in the shipping industry. But moving into 2019, what are the shippers expecting? The president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders will be telling us more on this particular issue.
There must be a governance structure, and it is not a novelty. We are not even suggesting it. If you go on to the unece.org portal, you will realize that because of the things that have happened in other places, they have suggested strongly a model structure for this kind of environment that we want to create. In the absence of the models, you putting in place the model structure, you are going to have ministries, departments, and agencies competing amongst themselves, particularly when they are all chasing the IGF factor. Okay? And when this happens, don't forget they all have regulations backing them.
So a model factor one.
Yeah, a governance structure. The governance structure will deliver the rest. Trust you me, because by the time a policy is dreamt of, by the time somebody thinks about a solution, it will have to do certain rounds. That's what the structure is supposed to do. It will do a certain round before it gets to the decision point, by which time every stakeholder entity would have had hint of it, would have come up with suggestions as to how it could be bettered. So we don't need too many things. Just put in place the governance structure. Let that high-powered delegate be on it. And in most cases, what the UN suggests is the president of the land.
So now let's do some investments. Well, last year we saw a major player come into the oil and gas industry, that is ExxonMobil. Moving forward, the CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, that we've been engaging, tells us to expect more in 2019, with particular attention being paid to tourism.
Well, infrastructure will still be important. Okay. Agri and agro-processing still important. Tourism, very important. And we have two significant projects in tourism that have delayed, that if they had happened, we would surely have met our 10 billion target. That's the trade fair rehabilitation, and then the Accra Marine Drive development, which is a significant and major transformational transaction. But we've had delays because contractual obligations, going through the civil works and all those things take a bit of time.
All right.
And there are our own processes of procurement, etc., take a bit of time.
Okay, but hopefully we should get that moving forward.
Oh, we are well on track. We are very, I can tell you from where I sit, sometimes I'm overwhelmed because of the rate at which people come in and says, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do this, we want to do that. And I'm saying, okay, wow, how can we make sure these things happen very quickly?
To one of the most dramatic industries, I'll say, the banking sector. I will say it's dramatic because you all know what happened. We woke up to news that 5 banks had been put together and merged, and now we have the Consolidated Bank of Ghana. Well, the industry saw quite a number of challenges this year, especially with the pressure from the Bank of Ghana for banks to recapitalize. Fears were that it would end up causing a situation whereby we do not have indigenous banks, because most of these banks were not meeting the minimum capital. And talk of drama, even as at the dying embers of 2018, the Bank of Ghana released 2 billion Ghana cedis to bail out some 6 banks. Just when everybody thought, wow, we're going to wake up to more banks collapsing, the Bank of Ghana came to the rescue. Clearly, this industry has a lot to look out for in 2019. Banking consultant Nana Otuo Champong will be telling us more about this.
In the past, we have described the banking sector as Mickey Mouse banking, where they had so much little capital, that they couldn't do big ticket jobs. Even when they wanted to syndicate, they still couldn't meet. And if you take the Cocoa Board as an example, for the past 10 odd years, they've had to go to London to get a syndicate of banks to be able to raise the capital for them. So now that we're going into 400 million plus, and mind you, the 400 million is the minimum. That is the floor. The ceiling is open depending on the risk complexion that you find yourself in. So now that we've got that sort of money, they're now going to do serious business, and it's a win-win situation, the banks versus the customers. So I think it's going to be an interesting terrain moving on from today.
We still have the MFIs and then the savings and loans. What is going to happen to them as well?
Okay. Now, besides the universal bank, we have 4 more groups. That is savings and loans, finance houses, rural banks, and microfinance. Now, savings and loans and finance houses are put together because the minimum capital is the same for them, that is 15 million. The governor has intimated that there are some pockets of problems within that sector. And again, they have had this, the blessing of the government to resolve them. But so once this is dealt with, then they'll move to that area and resolve. Then there are the rural banks. Yeah, rural banks, we also have 1 or 2 that are causing us problems, and they will also be resolved. The microfinance, there's a lot of natural attrition going on, in the sense that they had a minimum capital of 500,000, and now it's been moved to 2 million. Now, so some of them are simply saying, here you are with your license, I cannot find 2 million. Or even if I find it, I don't know what I'm going to do with 2 million, so I don't want to operate. So naturally, some are hesitant, you know. But those that have got difficulties, again, we hope that the regulator will solve them. So that is what's going to happen with the remaining 4. But the ultimate aim is to clean up the system and have resilient bank financial institutions, be they universal banks, savings and loan, finance houses, rural banks, or microfinance institutions.
We've heard the opinions of the various leaders from the industries, and for us, we'll be monitoring keenly to update you on issues as they unfold. Reporting for Joy Business, my name is Sheila Tamaklo.